Okay, you can see my notes. Now, before we touch on the question, I'm going to share on the notes first.
Well,
So those
Miss,
who
in
need
the
good
last
toilet,
class you already showed me this.
yeah, I know, but today we're going through the questions as well because today is on the second part of light. Just to remind you of question. If I already showed you this, then you should be able to answer my questions if I test you now. Would you be able to answer? Do you want to look it again? Because I'm going through just to touch on the notes again in case some of you did not write down the keywords, and this is my personal note. So it's not found, it's not from the tuition center itself. Yes, Money?
Last week I did not join the class as I had to stay back for a journey.
That's fine. So you can take the chance now to look at the key points, the words that I actually give, and then we're going to touch on the new stuff. Okay, the second part of your light. All right, so again, the key points of this chapter you need to know is what is light, where it comes from, how does it help us to see, how much light can pass through your different types of materials, how are your shadows formed, and how we can change the shape and size of the shadows. Now, I do have some structured questions at the bottom. I think last week, did we do some structured questions from my side? No. Okay, we'll try to do it. Money, if you didn't take note of all these notes, please take a look and make sure you actually jot it down if possible, okay? So the main part, sun is our main source of light. In case anyone has not looked up the sky for the past 3 weeks now, I think the night sky, if your sky is clear over there, you can easily spot because the sun actually casts light and the planets around in our solar system reflect off the light. That's why we can see. So in the evening, if your sky is clear in Singapore, which I think usually is cloudy, but over here is very clear, and I caught it myself 3 nights ago, actually last week. I saw it right alongside the moon. You can see Jupiter. You can see, I can't see Saturn, but my husband saw Saturn. He's not at home. He's somewhere in the forest because he's training. So he's camping at night in the forest and he can see over there. So he's lucky. I only saw Jupiter and I think I saw Venus. So the whole thing aligned because of the sun reflecting, shining on the moon and every other planets. Only the nighttime we can see. So I saw Jupiter, I saw a naked eye. You don't need a telescope. So I saw Venus. They're all aligned. They're quite they're actually tiny. They actually look like stars, but they're very bright. So if you see how to tell between a star and whether it's a planet, stars blink, they twinkle. Planets don't. If you notice, moon doesn't twinkle. Okay, when the sun reflects, it just becomes a flat, very shiny, bright thing. So you thought it looked like a star, but it's not. It doesn't blink. If you notice, they don't blink. That's a planet. Okay, and alignment with that moon, basically they are very bright. Jupiter is very, very bright. Venus is smaller, but Jupiter is a bit bigger. Of course, not as big as the moon because the moon is closer to us. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I can find a video if they have actually published it on YouTube, the night sky, but a lot of people take a lot of pictures.
Miss,
Sorry?
I've seen planets in the YouTube in video.
No, I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about going out into your garden, going out into your void, that downstairs lobby, look up the sky. But the only difference is that Singapore, because it's such an island, a small tiny island, and the lights are everywhere. You got street lights everywhere, so it kind of pollute. It's very glaring, so you might not be able to see the night sky unless you go to the East Coast Park, the beach, which I actually did when I was 20 plus years old. I hang out at the beach until like 12 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. and everything was dark. It's East Coast Park. I'm chit-chatting with my friend, having supper. And what happened is I saw 3 shooting stars. So I'm very lucky at East Coast Park, which I don't know if I make a wish, but I'm very young then. So that's 20, I think that's 15 years ago. So anyway, yeah, you can see I saw shooting star, but that's only when you're at East Coast Park. Okay, so your sun is your main source of light and also our heat. Basically, the sun gives us heat. All right, the sun is so hot that it's actually protruding the heat that actually protrude out. They are actually considered the fourth state of matter. Now, we all in primary school, you all learn 3 states of matter, right? Solid, liquid, gas, right? But when it becomes the heat energy becomes so hot, it actually kind of convert into another form of energy, which is plasma, and we call that the 4th state of matter. You don't learn that yet, it's fine. You learn that when you go to university or if you do a PhD, okay? So all stars, including your sun, will give off the light on its own. Some animals, like firefly, I think there's only fireflies. I can't think, oh no, the sea, the ocean. There are very deep sea creatures that actually, I call them creatures. I said sea animals, sea aquatic animals, deep underneath the ocean, they do emit their own light. Okay, some jellyfish, they do. So other than that, but on land, we have fireflies. Okay, now fuel and coal. So I'm gonna underline this so that you can know what are the examples. Fuels and coal, fuels such as coal and wood, they will give off light when we burn them. But any others electronic will be bulbs and lamps that are invented by men. Okay. So you can, this video is recorded, so you can actually copy after that, right? I'm just gonna go through the key points. Now, the main thing you need to actually notice is the drawing part, because there are diagrams which often come out in exam. And also they will ask you to draw the arrow where the light rays are. So the kind of arrow, the light ray arrow would be this particular part. Make sure you know where to draw your arrow. It's always in the middle of the line. Do not draw at the end of the line, but draw it in the middle. Okay, and your arrow must point away from the light source to say that, oh, the light is coming from there, rather than pointing towards. Okay, so I'm going to use a different color. For example, this one, look, your arrow is supposed to be actually this one, pointing away. So it's from this direction, and then it's from this direction. Okay, please draw correctly, yeah? Now, next one. Okay, why can't I click? Okay, so your diagram, your periscope. Another one, basically, periscope is a common thing that we always talk about. Okay, you need to know how to actually also draw the arrow where it is, the light is coming from the side, from here, go down to point out to here, and then point into your eyes. Okay, so that's where your light source comes from. That's where it actually goes. And that's how it goes into your eyes. Okay. Okay, next one. This is a very important table where they will always ask you to compare the 3 different types of materials: transparent, translucent, opaque. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you know transparent is the one that allows the most light to go through. And then you have translucent, and you have opaque. Please know the spelling, because you will be using these scientific words to actually describe the materials, and you don't want to spell wrongly, right? Please write down the 3 different materials type, and know that translucent means some light only. Transparent means most light. Okay, so these keywords here. And of course, your opaque doesn't allow any light to pass through. Okay, now the color is a bit glaring, but I think that's the best that I can do. All right, I'm gonna go down. Have you written the 3 words? Okay, I'm gonna clear Now, how are shadows formed? Basically, we know from morning all the way to evening, your longest shadows are in the morning and evening. They are formed when your sun actually shines on it and there's an object that blocks it. So when your light source shine on it, the object blocks it because it's opaque. It doesn't allow light to fall through. So that's how you get your shadow. Okay. So basically, the shadow doesn't, the object doesn't allow the light to pass through. All right. So the shortest shadow will be at noontime, where the sun is right above us. And we can't actually block anywhere unless you got an umbrella. But still the shape will be just directly right above. Okay, it will be directly a round shape. Okay. Now in light topic, they will love to ask you questions on how to play around with shadows and to change the size and shape. Now, I think a lot of us has already experienced this when you're playing with torchlight when you are young. I don't know if your parents allow you to play with torchlight in your room, trying to make shadow patterns, and I think you can see it. Yeah, I really can do one experiment right here. I've got my wall, so you can make a butterfly, but you can actually make a very big butterfly if you actually move your hand nearer to the torchlight, and the whole wall will be filled up with the shadow. We always play at this with my brothers when we were young, and we like to make monsters shadow because it filled up the entire room. So it is quite funny. And we did that for many, many nights until we don't sleep at night. We usually it's a school night and we only slept like 12 and 1, and then in the end we woke up at 6 a.m. and woke up so tired and then complaining tired. And my dad will always laugh and say, I asked you to sleep last night, you don't want to sleep, you keep playing, and you slept at 1 and 2, and that's why. So in the end, but he still allow us to play with the torchlight. So and in the end we know that okay, we have to sleep because we'll be very tired the next day. Yeah, we spent many nights, I think all the way until I grow until I reach secondary school. That's for many years, because primary school I always wake up very tired. So I think I did primary 6. Primary 6 I stopped playing. I sleep early because it's PSLE. Every other year, yeah, I'm just talking to my brothers, don't want to sleep. So okay, so you got your shadow. All right, so you need to know how to make a big shadow. Big shadow is when your light source is very near the object. Okay, then your shadow and your screen is very far away. That's how you will get a big shadow. Okay, so whatever the positions, the size of the object will depend on position. Okay, will depend on position. Where is the light? And of course, where's the screen? Okay, you can maneuver all this by all these 3 positions. Okay, so there you go. Your length of shadow, if it's very near to the torchlight, what happens is your shadow will be very big. If it's further away, your shadow will be smaller. Okay, you can notice this. All right, so next one. Okay, these are the morning, midday, and the evening. The different angles you need to know. All right, now I'm gonna try let you all use the pen, annotate. Can you do my structure question first before we go on to this tuition worksheet? And then we can play some videos. You can, one side be money writing and the other one be Davina. You can, I think Davina can choose this side. Please write your answer. And then money, you can choose this side. Okay, make your font smaller so that you, yeah. Money, choose the side. Okay, so give a title.
No, remember last class I couldn't use the pen.